Gather around, my friends, for a tale that has been passed down through generations, a story of ambition, family, and the unexpected twists of fate. This is the story of Adewale, a young man from a small, vibrant village, whose dreams were as big as the baobab tree that stood at the center of his home. Adewale was known for his sharp mind and his even sharper ambition. While other young men were content with farming the land their fathers had farmed, Adewale looked to the horizon. He heard stories of a world beyond the great waters, a place called abroad, where fortunes were made and dreams came to life. He promised his mother, a woman whose love for him was as deep as the river that bordered their village, that he would go, work hard, and return to build her a house grander than the chief's. He promised his younger sister, Amara, that he would bring her back dresses made of silk and jewels that shone like the stars. His father, a wise old man, simply nodded. "The world is a big place, my son," he said. "Remember who you are and where you come from. Your roots are as important as the branches you wish to grow." With his family's blessings and the entire village's savings pooled together to buy his ticket, Adewale left. The day he departed, his mother wept, not from sadness but from a mixture of pride and fear. Amara clung to him, her small hands promising to wait for his return. Years turned into a decade. 10 long years. Adewale worked tirelessly. He faced challenges he never imagined, loneliness that bit deeper than the Harmattan wind, and a longing for home that was a constant ache in his heart. But he never forgot his promise. He saved every penny, sending money back home regularly. He sent enough to ensure his family never went hungry, enough for Amara's education, and eventually, enough for the construction of the grand house he had promised his mother. He saw pictures of the house as it was being built, a magnificent structure with 2 floors, large windows, and a veranda that overlooked the village. His heart swelled with pride. He imagined his mother sitting on that veranda, fanning herself in the evening breeze, the queen of her castle. Finally, the day came. Adewale, now a man changed by time and experience, booked his flight home. He didn't tell his family the exact date of his arrival. He wanted to surprise them. He imagined their faces, the joy, the tears, the celebration that would erupt in the village. He packed his suitcases with gift silks for Amara, fine cloth for his father, and a special, golden locket for his mother. The journey home was a blur of excitement. As the plane descended, he saw the familiar green landscape of his homeland, and his heart beat like a drum. He took a taxi from the city airport, the driver chattering away about the changes in the country. But Adewale's mind was on one thing: home. As they neared his village, he could see it in the distance, the grand house. It stood out, just as he had imagined, a testament to his hard work. A wide smile spread across his face. He was finally home. He paid the driver and told him to wait, that he would be right back to pay him more for the celebration that was about to begin. He grabbed his bags and practically ran towards the house, his heart pounding with anticipation. The gate was open. He walked into the compound, his eyes taking in every detail of the house he had only seen in pictures. It was even more beautiful in person. He saw a woman on the veranda, fanning herself, just as he had pictured. But as he got closer, his steps faltered. It wasn't his mother. It was a stranger, a woman he had never seen before, dressed in expensive clothes. Puzzled, he saw 2 young children playing on the lawn. They were not his family. "Hello," he called out, his voice uncertain. "Excuse me, I am looking for my family, the Adebayo family." The woman looked up, her expression one of annoyance rather than welcome. "Who are you? And what are you doing in my compound?" she asked, her voice sharp. "Your compound," Adewale stammered, confusion turning into a cold knot of dread in his stomach. This is my house. I built this house. For my mother." The woman let out a short, dismissive laugh. "Your house, young man, you must be mistaken. My husband and I bought this house 2 years ago." Adewale's world tilted, his bags dropped from his hands. "Bought it? From who? Where is my mother? Where is my sister, Amara?" Just then, a sleek, expensive car pulled into the compound. A man in a sharp suit stepped out. Adewale recognized him instantly. It was Dealey, his own cousin. The same cousin he had entrusted with overseeing the construction and managing the funds he sent home. Dealey froze when he saw Adewale. The color drained from his face. The woman on the veranda was his wife. The children were his. Adewale ... Dealey whispered, his voice trembling. You are back." The truth, cold and brutal, crashed down on Adewale like a tidal wave. The money he had sent, the years of sacrifice, the dream he had held onto so tightly, it had all been a lie. His own flesh and blood, his cousin, had betrayed him. He had taken the money, completed the house, and then sold it, pocketing the fortune and moving his own family in. "Where is my mother, Deli?" Adewale asked, his voice dangerously calm. "Where is my family?" Deli couldn't meet his eyes. He mumbled something about them moving to a small apartment in the city, that he had told them Adewale wanted them to be more comfortable there. It was all a web of deceit. He had sold Adewale's dream and displaced his family. The shock was so profound, Adewale couldn't even feel anger. It was a hollow, empty feeling. The surprise he had planned had turned into the shock of his life. He had left his village a hopeful boy and returned a stranger to a house that was his, and yet not his. He turned away from the grand house, his monument to a broken promise, and walked back towards the waiting taxi. The driver saw the look on his face and said nothing. The journey to the city to find his mother and sister was quiet, each kilometer a painful reminder of his 10 lost years. He found them in a cramped one-room apartment in a noisy part of the city. When his mother saw him, she burst into tears, clinging to him as if he were a ghost. Amara, now a young woman, stood by, her eyes filled with a deep sadness. They told him how Dealey had lied to them, saying Adewale wanted them to sell the house and move. They were simple village folk. They had trusted him. They had been living in poverty while Deli and his family lived in the lap of luxury, built on Adewale's sweat and sacrifice. The shock Adewale felt was immense, but as he held his mother and sister, something shifted within him. The grand house, the material wealth, it all faded away. He had lost a house of bricks and mortar, but he had not lost his family. He had his mother's love, his sister's loyalty. His wise old father had passed away a year before, but his words echoed in Adewale's mind. Your roots are as important as the branches you wish to grow. In that tiny apartment, surrounded by the people who truly mattered, Adewale realized his real treasure was not the house he had built, but the family he had returned to. The road ahead would be difficult. He would have to fight to reclaim what was his. But this time, he was not alone. He was home, and that was a foundation no betrayal could ever shake. This story, my friends, reminds us that the grandest structures we can build are not made of stone, but of love, trust, and family. It is a harsh lesson, but a powerful one. Thank you for listening. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the motherland. Until next time, stay blessed.